welcome back to Mass Culture Podcast, episode number 16. A very special guest.
I am Chad Himme.
All right. So what's going on, Chad? How you been doing?
I have been doing very well, actually. Just living life, man. I'm living life to the fullest.
Good.
It is great to be on with you guys. I've been wanting to come on the podcast for quite some time, and now I have the time to do it, so it's great to be on.
Nothing against Chad. I think Chad was the first person to ask us.
I think it was. Probably.
Don't feel bad. We love the enthusiasm.
I'm good. I'm good.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so what brings you here today? Like, what's some exciting things you got going on?
Well, some exciting things I have going on is I'm being on this podcast, but I don't know if you guys know, I also have my own podcast that I do during the football season.
Oh, yeah.
After I do work a full-time job, but after the full-time job, I do my own little sports podcast. Mainly, it's a Steelers-based football podcast, so I'm getting ready to ramp that back up again. Just did the first 2 episodes of it. And getting ready to start it up again whenever the preseason starts, which I'm really excited for. I'm going to have a couple new guests on that were different from last season and some of the same guests from the season before.
Cool.
And you go crazy over the Steelers on Facebook. I'm surprised they haven't banned you personally.
I'm surprised they haven't banned me either. And also the Steelers haven't blocked me because I tag them a lot in stuff that I post. So
Are you excited about the new move with Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf?
DK Metcalf, 1,000% yes. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, hell no.
Whoa.
We don't like you, Aaron Rodgers.
No, I mean, he's a 41-year-old quarterback, and he dictated, our entire offseason. I think we should have drafted a quarterback if it was Shedeur Sanders or somebody else earlier. I know we drafted Will Howard, late, 5th or 6th round or whatnot. He dictated our whole draft, and I don't know, I just don't think that was the best move because I don't think it's going to make us any better.
I'll tell you what's funny about that, though, is that they had this statement. They said, Aaron Rodgers came to Pittsburgh because he didn't want to go to any other team. And I'm like, well, if that was true, why didn't he come here 2 years ago when he was leaving Green Bay? You know
right,
what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That seems a little odd to me, And the same thing, it's like, why did he wait so long to sign and play around,
Yeah, he just played around, with the organization and, and whatnot. And just, he said he had some, personal issues that they had to deal with, which, I totally understand. But I just think that he dictated our entire offseason for us to maybe win, I don't know, 1 or 2. Yeah, that's right. Either or 9-8 or 8-9.
And I think that's the problem with the Steelers now too. It's not about the Steelers as an organization. It's about Tomlin's record.
Yes.
And that's turned me off a lot because I truly feel if you listen to the commentators, he's never had a losing single.
I'm so over that. Yes.
I'm so over it, and they haven't won a playoff game since when?
It's been since 2016.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
yes.
yeah, 2016.
2016 is the last time he won a playoff
was
game?
the last time they won a playoff. So it's been 8 years since they've won a playoff game. Yeah, right. Probably this year. Maybe they might make it to the playoffs. If they do, I don't even think that they'll win depending on who they play.
They should have kept Pickens too, but I understand his problems. But imagine before they got nothing for him. Essentially, right?
Essentially, no.
So why not keep him and at least to the trade deadline and see?
Yeah, see how it goes with a number 2. Because they ran into the same problem last year. You had one good wide receiver last year, and we all see how that played out.
I can't even name the other receivers from last year.
Right, it's Calvin Austin and a couple other no-name guys.
He's fast, but he's not.
He's quick, but he's small.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like they shorted the fan base the opportunity. Even if it would only been till the trade deadline, the opportunity to watch those 2 guys and Aaron Rodgers,
yes,
all of a sudden,
I mean that offense would have been scary dangerous. I think,
that would have been something to watch, and I feel like they just didn't care. And I understand Pickens was a problem.
Right.
There's some people they're so glad to see him go. I'm like, I ain't that happy about it.
I'm not happy to see him gone because I think he's going to do damage in Dallas with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott as their quarterback, which he's back at full health.
And now they have the full strength, 2 great receivers.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they're going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, them in Philly. I think they're going to contend for that for the championship of the NFC East, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Go ahead, take it away.
I don't know. I mean, the Steelers lost Kenny Pickett. He goes to Philadelphia. Had them win the Super Bowl. I mean,
Or were
Yeah.
you a Kenny Pickett guy?
You know what? I have to admit, I was a huge Kenny Pickett supporter when he came out of Pitt and we drafted him in the first round. I was one of the biggest supporters out there. I was always defending him and so on and so forth. And I don't know why that I defended him, because I was dead wrong. And I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong.
Were you sad to see him go?
Sad to see him go? No, I was not sad to see him go.
Do you feel like they also though didn't give him a real chance too, though?
I agree. I don't think they gave him a real chance. And also the offensive coordinator that he had was a bum in Matt Canada. So
Yeah.
So
and you know what though? That now Kenny Pickett is entering his third team. All who have not given him a chance. Which he went to Philadelphia knowing he wouldn't have a chance.
well, yeah, he sat behind Jalen Hurts.
But I think that's where he's from. He was able to whatever,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's a picture of him posted as a little kid wearing an Eagles jersey, and I guess he used to go there. I guess that's his area.
Oh, he grew up as a huge Eagles fan. So I mean, it was a dream come true.
So for him to go back there and win a Super Bowl was just like,
oh yeah, I mean, that's a full circle moment, which is great.
Yeah.
But now he's going to be in Cleveland, and if he ends up winning the starting job, he's going to have to play us twice.
Yeah, but it's almost like they've made that impossible for him to win because they have 5 quarterbacks right now.
It's 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's
and they
nuts.
drafted
that many.
Yeah. They have Flacco, I think.
Yep, Flacco is with them. They drafted Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders.
And the thing about Shador is he's Deion Sanders' son.
Yes.
So everyone's going to be like, as soon as the quarterback isn't doing well, bring in Shador, bring in Shador. People want to see, is this guy hype or has he actually got something?
Exactly.
That's the thing with Shador,
Yeah, and I think Shador is probably going to do damage. I think he's going to make a lot of teams really upset that they did not draft him earlier, I think.
The problem with him, though, is that if you look at his college record against ranked teams, he's very average. He's 1 in 9 or something against ranked teams.
Yeah.
When he's playing teams below average, he looks really good. I'm not saying he's good or bad. I don't know. I don't know enough about him to say that. I'm just going on numbers.
Yeah.
He would have to prove it, which we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But the Kenny Pickett thing, it's so Kenny Pickett leaves Philly, goes to Cleveland, and now he's probably not going to start again. I don't know.
I don't know if he went to a worse situation or a better situation
I think another
after
circus,
Philly.
another circus, because Cleveland is a circus.
Oh,
Until they straighten their organization out, Baker Mayfield they should have never got rid of. You could go to Johnny Manziel having his problems.
Well, yeah,
he's crazy. Yeah,
yeah,
he's crazy. But Cleveland also doesn't have stability.
No, their organization is just so messed up. As you were saying, it's a circus there. So.
Yeah. I feel like Kenny should have went to. They were talking about potentially him going to the Rams, I believe.
Who, Kenny?
There was a rumor that was. I was like, that would be a good spot for him.
I mean, are they really going to carry into the regular season that many quarterbacks?
No,
I don't think so.
No,
I
thought the Steelers should have went with trying to get Kirk Cousins. There was a lot of rumors about that, and that's who I thought.
There were rumors about Kirk Cousins. There were rumors about Matt Stafford, and
that'd have been another good one.
That would have been a great pick. I would have loved. I would have bought his jersey if we would have got Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Because I've been a big Matt Stafford fan ever since he was playing for the Lions.
He's very good.
He's a great quarterback.
He's very good. Yeah, and I don't think his relationship with the guy and what's his name, Sean
McVay.
Yeah, I don't think that's going very well.
No.
But yeah, good.
So I'm just trying to think here for a second.
Chad is a sports-aholic.
Right? I really am.
Is this so? Tell us about your how you got into actually doing broadcasting.
Yeah, let's hear about it. Yeah.
Oh wow! So this dates back. I mean, a long time ago. I went to Cornell High School. I'm from Coriopolis. Graduated from Cornell. I went to Cornell from K all the way through 12th. It's a very small school, single A school. So, and me and my cousin, Matt Fargo, who is really big into the Pittsburgh sports scene, him and we used to play PlayStation, and we used to mute the games that we would play, like the football games we would play, and we would broadcast the games just for the heck of it. We would just have fun and just do that. And then I would help him with broadcasting some of the Moon High School games. And then after I stopped playing football due to an injury, I broke my arm many, many years ago as a kid, I stopped playing, and then that's when I got into doing public address for the Cornell Raiders. So I was doing that for many years when I was in school, and then I was helping out with a semi-pro team that no longer exists called the Western Pennsylvania Warhawks, which Ron, I believe you actually performed at a halftime show many years ago at RMU.
That was through you, yeah.
Yeah, that was through me. I hooked that up through the Western PA Warhawks, and it kind of just like snowballed from there. Like, and then I do full-time PA for the Cornell football team and the basketball team. And everyone has always said that you have a voice for radio. Like, you need to be doing something with, sports broadcasting or something like that. So that a few years ago, I started the podcast. And by the way, the name is called Chat with Chad.
Okay.
And I'll give kudos to my cousin Matt, who came up with the name, called Chat with Chad. I did it a few years ago, did a couple episodes, posted it on SoundCloud, and then just other things got in the way. I started doing music. I started doing like the recording, music, and doing the engineering.
Uptown Records, baby.
Uptown Records, that's right. Uptown Records. So I started doing like recording and, mixing and mastering and all that good stuff. So I stopped it. And then when I got with my now wife, I kind of had to grow up. I was with her and everything. So I stopped doing the music thing, and I wanted to get back into doing a Steeler-based podcast. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick this up again, and I did it like halfway through the season last year. And the response that I got from the people was just insane. They were like, you should have never stopped doing this. Like, this, can go viral. Like, you're very good at this. And one video that I did with my buddy Brandon Blackstone, he was my guest. Like I said, I have guests that come on every week. And
thanks for asking us, by the way. Look at
I didn't know you were that big into sports. No. So I guess Brandon Blackstone is a really good friend of mine. He's a big Steeler fan too. I had him on. Our video had like a little over 5,000 views in just one video.
Oh, wow.
And out of the few videos, it ended up adding up to like 10,000 views in a matter of like 3 videos.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm going to continue it next season and actually do it from start to finish.
Good.
Oh, okay. So this will be your first.
This will be my first full season doing
You
it.
said you're starting with the preseason, going through all season.
Yes.
Now, we're talking about the playoffs. What, the Steelers are eliminated, or is that when your season's done?
So
Or you
it
keep going
was
until the Super Bowl's done.
It was done the first year that I started doing it. When I started halfway, I just stopped after the Steelers were out of it after they lost in the wild card. But this year, I'm going to continue doing it, even if the Steelers don't make it to the playoffs, or if they make it and then they lose. I'm just going to still keep right.
Especially with fantasy football and stuff like that, you got these listeners listening.
Fantasy football is. I don't really get into fantasy football much, but I know that is big, and I got asked by a lot of people, "Hey, are you going to continue in the playoffs even though the Steelers are out?" I'm like, nah. But again, just with the responses that I got, I'm going to continue to do it.
And didn't you start doing another podcast with your wife too? Aren't you doing some sort of daily podcast?
We do. So we started getting into vlogging.
Okay.
Our life, like when we do fun stuff, like on the side, like when she's not working, I'm not working, like on the weekends, like a Saturday night or really Sunday, because Sunday's the only day that her and I have off fully together. With me being in the car business, I work every Saturday. She's off Saturday and Sunday. I have Tuesday off and then Sunday off. So anytime we do anything, it's either on a Saturday night or a Sunday, or when we go on vacation.
Okay. So it's like a weekly recap of your life.
So sometimes it's a weekly recap. Sometimes it's just in the day of.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll post it on Tuesday at 4:00.
Now, is that something you're doing just to have content, or is something you're passionate about? Tell us about that.
It is to get content rather, not content. And I've followed this vlogger on YouTube. He's a big YouTube celebrity. His name is Lance Stewart. I'm a huge fan of him, and he kind of influenced me to do vlogging just because I could see how much fun that he has with it. He's got millions and millions of followers, and all that. That's cool. I'd like to get to that one day, but that's not my goal. We just do it for fun.
Yeah.
And if it happens to blow up, great. If it not, we just have fun doing it.
Yeah.
It's fun to do.
Yeah. Like when we were on vacation in Texas a few months ago, we were there for 4 days. So we vlogged for those 4 days we were there, and then I put it all together into one long.
Nice.
It was like a 45-minute vlog. All the other vlogs have been 15 minutes, 20 minutes, here and there. So
cool.
Yeah.
And is that something she's passionate about too, or did you kind of get her, you coach her along?
I got her into it. At first, she was a little unsure about it because she's really never been in like front of a camera before. I've been in front of a camera pretty much like my whole life. You know, I would used to do drama club in school. I would do talent shows, and whenever I was doing Sicktastic Films with you guys, and just whenever I get in front of a camera, I don't know, something just like a switch just like turns on and I'm like a different person.
That's a perfect segue to get off sports, I guess. Acting.
Yeah.
Tell us your background, how you got into it, any theater background. Just talk about it.
Just drama club from high school. I did it for 4 years, starting in ninth grade. And at Cornell, when you're in ninth grade, like you usually don't get like a very big role in ninth grade. They usually leave it for like juniors and seniors to get a pretty big role. But I auditioned for this one role, and it even had a little singing part in it, and they just loved me for the part. And
can you share that with our audience, the singing parts?
Oh God, you know what, dude? I don't even remember the scene that I was even singing, but like I'll sing in the car here and there. But so I got into it starting in high school. In ninth grade, I was a freshman, and I did it in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, and I was always like one of the main, cast members and characters in the drama club shows. And then after, like I know you through Ron, and I knew you were starting to do Sicktastic Films and all that, and I had asked you, I'm like, hey, like if you ever need another body or whatnot, I'm ready.
You came up to me at a show or something and asked me about it. So actually, now I'm working on a film right now. I've not casted yet for it. So I'm looking for people. And
so I was like, sign me up. I was like, what do I need to do? Because I like acting, and I know you're big into the horror stuff, and I like horror films, and Halloween's my favorite horror. Not trilogy because there's so many of them, but favorite horror franchise. There we go. I couldn't think of the word franchise. Horror movie franchise, and you kind of streamlined me into doing Sicktastic with you guys, and was one of the original cast members of the Carver House, and
right. So you're OG.
I am.
Stuff.
Me and my buddy Sharon Petit, we're one of the OGs, and we tried to do a couple other little films that really never didn't work out too much, and
it's kind of. You had to go with what you had at the time.
Right.
And that was a part of the problem we had it back then is going through people saying they're showing up, they don't show up.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is still a problem for people.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. I'm sure it is.
It can be for sure. That's always one of the toughest parts is getting, because, we don't have some big budget to get people contractually obligated to show up.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, if I'm going to use my time, what am I going to get out of it?
Oh, yeah.
And I was never like that. I just wanted to do it for fun and just the experience.
People that love the arts of creating
Yeah.
are always more than happy to be a part of something. It's the people that don't really care. Or if they feel like the worst thing is like when they feel like they're important or whatever, and like they feel like they want to be paid. Like, I get why people would want paid. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? I get, but I've done countless amount of things in life where money was never, if anything, I lost money with everything I've ever done. You know what I mean? But so I don't always relate to the money thing. I understand what they're saying. Hey, we all want paid for what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when the money's not there, where does it come from?
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole blood from a stone thing. You know what I mean? Like, so,
yeah.
So, but the only thing you can do is keep creating and keep praying that one day something will be appreciated to the point where it makes money.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all you can do.
Right. You just got to stick with things to, eventually, make money and, make a name for yourself. So, yeah.
Have you ever done any writing for movies or anything, or do you just want to act?
I've just, acting, I would help, with certain, things like, hey, like try saying this a certain way or try doing this a certain way. But it's always me just,
like help coaching and stuff.
Yeah, like coaching and then also acting, but never writing. Like even whenever I was even doing music, when I was actually in the music scene and, rapping and stuff, I would really never be the one to actually write the lyrics. Like I would give like whoever I was with like ideas and then they would write the lyrics and then I would just perform them.
You're like Puff Daddy.
Yeah. This old, not the way he is now, but not the new one.
The old school Puff Daddy.
Old school.
You can't even say his name anymore.
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, so even back then, like when I was, doing music, I wasn't really the one writing the stuff. I would just give the people like ideas, and then, they would write them down, and I might change a thing or here and there, and then I would just record it and perform it. So.
Yeah. As far as acting, have you done anything outside of working with Sicktastic Films?
No, I have not. No,
Very loyal to the company.
I am. I am very loyal.
You're like Rob Zombie, and this is one of your.
Very loyal to the company. I tried getting into something. Me and my buddy Sharon, who you guys know really well. We tried doing this thing that was through a company, and I don't even know where they were even based out of. You would go and do like this like quick audition in front of judges, and then if they chose you, like you'd have to pay to get over to California to do like another audition, and just never really went through with it after that. It was kind of like a talent agency kind of deal.
You can't trust them.
Yeah. So
all of them are kind of shaky and stuff like that. So you'll go there. They act like there's all these judges here, and then they like, oh, well, we're picking you. So all you have to do is give us $10,000.
Oh,
we're gonna get you booked, and this, that, and this. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So I never went through with it, after that. And yeah.
What I learned about the acting community is very similar to the music community, which is also very similar to like stand-up, like community. Like once you're in, you realize like, number one, it's not hard to get to know everybody. Mm-hmm. Like really fast, you can kind of learn who's who.
Right.
Number two, everyone has an angle. Mm-hmm. You can get on this show if you sell this amount of tickets. You could do this movie if you do this.
Yeah.
Everyone has something. But yeah, so it's hard to find people that just want to create and have fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
And you were kind of saying you get to know people quick, and I've been in the car business for like 11 or 12 years, and when you're in the car business for as long as I am, you go to any dealership, someone at that dealership. If it's in management or in sales or in service,
they transfer a lot.
Because no one really stays in one dealership for like multiple years. There are the few, like I've been at the dealership I've been at for 9 years now. Okay. So that's rare. Like usually you'll see someone at a dealership for like 2 or 3 years, and then they'll go somewhere else, and then they'll go somewhere else. So that's why know a lot of people.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they move around so much?
Because it's sales. If you're in sales, like if you're not a go-getter and a people person, you can make good money. But if you're not a go-getter and a people person, and you don't do, the follow-up correctly and whatnot, you don't make any money. You work a lot of hours. They're there every weekend, so it's a lot. You have to be a certain kind of person to succeed in car sales.
And you do straight sales? That's your salesman?
Yeah. So I'm actually our head internet manager. So I handle all the internet activity that comes in throughout the day. I manage a group of people that are actually off-site. And I handle them as they handle a lot of stuff, and I kind of coach them, and I coach our salespeople on follow up and
new
whatnot.
Cars, used cars,
both.
Okay.
Because I work for a Volkswagen store, so we sell new VWs, but we sell every make and model and
you want to cut an ad into the camera and go like spin around. Have you ever done that?
No, I've never done that.
That's what you're missing, your own commercial.
Yeah. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because anytime that we get like a cool used car in, like my managers, they'll come out and ask me to be in the like photos of the vehicle whenever they're first taking the pictures to post them up online. Like they'll have me sit in the car, and I'll put like my shades on, or I'll do like a like a rock on symbol or something like that. And it's kind of ironic, because every time that we've posted a used car online with me in it, we've sold that car like quick.
Oh, you're the magic man.
I must be.
You're the mascot of the company.
I must be, because every time we've done that, we've sold the car faster than normal. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself going with that career?
Oh man. I mean, my goal was to manage a group of people. So, I mean, I've kind of, met that goal, and I'm happy, with where I'm at, maybe one day be like an actual like sales manager instead of an internet manager. But, that would probably be my next, step goal, is to do that instead of just, doing internet management, do actual like sales management.
Do you ever deal with like irate customers that show up and they're mad as could be?
All the time. And on the phones too, because I deal with a lot of people on the phones and email. So it's not as bad as when you're in person, because I don't want to call them a little scared, but you know, you're tougher whenever you're on the phone or you're on a keyboard. Right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yes, I have dealt with.
Have you ever been threatened to be killed and everything else?
You know what's funny? Is that I did get threatened once. I did get threatened, not to get killed, but to get hurt, because we sold a used car that this guy was really interested on, but he didn't make it in, and we don't hold used cars for people, so he didn't make it in. We sold it over the weekend, and he got mad and was like, you're lucky that I'm not there, and you're going to need the cops if I was there, and that was the only time I was ever like quote unquote threatened.
He's gonna stuff you into the trunk of the car.
Yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be dealing with some upset characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
I mean, dealing with the public in any business, if you're dealing with the public, there's all kind of irate customers.
That's true, and I think the internet, like you said, has made people where they'll say anything now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where like years ago, you had to watch what you said to kind of care. Like if you threaten someone, it might stick with you. Like you could get arrested for it. Or
right.
Nowadays, people are like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like kind of brush it off.
Yeah, you brush a lot of stuff off, but people also have like, there's no filter. Mm-hmm. They'll say anything now. They don't care, because the next day they're like, I'll start a new username or whatever, and it all goes away.
Social media has really changed all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Now, are you using social media to promote your business too? Like, you work for the company?
Yeah. So I work for Volkswagen of Moon, but we're owned by the largest auto group in the nation. It's called Lithia Auto Group. So they own hundreds of dealerships across the whole country. So I do work for Lithia, but I work for a Volkswagen store that's owned by Lithia. So yes, I do promote the cars online. Like I have my own like business Facebook, business Instagram. So anytime that I sell a car, I'll post them standing next to their vehicle.
Yeah.
And I'll share that, or I'll do like a used car of the week that's popular, or it's getting ready to age out. Like I'll post that one to try to drive business to the store or to me, or so I do.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned about the car thing. I was just thinking, so you take pictures of people with the car as they bought it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they allow you to do that? They don't ever say, I don't want my picture posted?
I have had a couple people say, you know what, no, I'm not big on social media. No, thank you. I understand. And I have to ask them, because I do post it online. 90% of the people say, oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you were great. Yeah, no problem. But I have had 2 or 3 people say, you know what, no, I'm good. But, you were still great. Shake my hand, and they still leave happy.
So you're talking about like used cars and stuff like that. So when they come in, like you said about a customer, and it was all fired up that a car got sold he was looking for, how long do they usually sit in a lot? Like if they don't get sold for, say, 30 days, 60 days, is that when they move them out, or how's that
So we have a 75-day hard turn policy.
Okay, 75 days.
So I don't know about other dealerships, but at least us, we have a 75-day hard turn policy. So if a car sits for 75 days, by the end of the month, that car has got to go. It either goes to one of the auctions, like one of the local auctions, or it goes to one of the other Lithia stores. And there's, because like I said, there's Lithia stores all over the nation, so we can send them anywhere.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Cool. So we'll take it back to the acting. Wait, you were never. So what are your endeavors outside of acting or salesman? Anything else? I know you got the sports podcast.
I would just say the sports podcast, or if the vlogging takes off.
So you're eat, sleep, podcast, repeat, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Because
sell some cars, repeat, huh?
Yeah, because I make my money selling cars, and then I have fun and potentially go viral doing podcasting or vlogging. So.
Now, is it exclusively just football? Do you do hockey? You do baseball?
It's just football, because I really, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's hard to follow the Pirates, even though they're playing okay. But, yeah, so it's hard to follow the Pirates. When I do watch hockey, it's playoffs. Times anytime the Penguins are in the playoffs, I'll watch it. But like during like the regular season, I really don't. But So not only am I'm a huge Steeler fan. I bleed black and gold, but I'm an NFL fan. Yeah. So I watch everything.
No, I'm the same way. Like I football, I don't care who's playing. I can watch any game.
Yep.
Hockey, I tend to watch the Penguins or the playoffs.
Yeah.
I will watch regular season Penguins, but playoffs, especially with finals, like I've been watching the finals. I'm actually rooting for Edmonton. I don't know why. I just find myself rooting for them.
Is the series still tied or is one team's up?
Florida won the other day.
Florida won the other day.
They're up 3-2 in the series now.
Oh, cool.
And it goes back to Florida, I think, tomorrow night.
Nice.
It goes back to Edmonton, I think.
Oh, no, they were just in Florida.
Oh, no, you're right. No, you're right. Wait, I am so confused now.
So confused.
Yeah, they were just in Edmonton.
No, you're right. They're going to Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because remember I said it's game 6. So if Edmond can win in Florida, you take all the momentum back to game 7 in your home court.
Right.
I feel like that's the best swing if you're in the playoffs and you're down, but you got game 6 away. Mm-hmm. That's the best. Go into their home, beat them.
Yep.
Take all the momentum,
back to your place.
The momentum. Everyone wants you
right.
It makes you want it that much more,
It does. And I remember when the Penguins were in that situation a few years ago when they went back to back. I think it was would have been the first time that they've ever won a Stanley Cup at home. And they ended up blowing it, so they ended up winning it in Nashville when we beat Nashville for the Cup. Yeah. So I see what you mean, by that.
Yeah, they still didn't win it at home.
Yeah, they've actually never won it at home.
No, they've never won it at home. That's from what I heard.
Let's talk a little Penguins, I guess, for a second. So the rumor is what now with Lemieux?
Apparently, Mario Lemieux's group's looking back to buy some of the Penguins.
I did see that because I'm a big fan of 93.7 The Fan, so I listen and watch them almost every day. The PM team with Andrew Filipponi and Chris Muller, and they have a scroller on the bottom, and I was reading something about Lemieux and company are thinking about buying the Penguins back.
Well, there's a rumor that Jaromir Jagr's involved in it too, and he was just in town, so
okay.
Hopefully that'd be cool. I think Sid the Kid would probably get in on it too. They'll probably I think legally they probably can't have him right now,
right?
Because
he's still a player. Yeah.
But a handshake deal. Don't worry, Sid. You can invest.
When you hang it up, here's your spot, right?
Yeah. We got you, man.
You can invest $8.7 million into the Penguin, into the ownership.
Yeah.
But that would be interesting for Penguins next year. They're saying it's going to be Evgeny Malkin's final year with the Penguins.
I'm sick over that.
His whole career he's played with the Penguins, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And I'm sick over altogether is saying it's Alexander Ovechkin's final year as well.
With the Capitals.
So Ovechkin's going to be done. Malkin will be done.
Man.
Crosby's right around the corner.
Yeah, I think Chris Letang's done.
I thought Letang was going to be done for 3 years now.
Yeah.
And they somehow keep bringing him back.
Yeah, I have nothing against Letang, but it's it's probably time.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with these players. You fall in love with them, and then everything switches. Now it's going to be a whole new changing of the guard.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we just got the new coach. Sullivan's finally gone.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't thrilled about him either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about this new coach, but I don't know why people weren't too fond of him whenever we got him or we signed him.
He was an assistant coach with Nashville, with the Rangers, and he's never been a full head coach before.
Okay.
So.
I think it's because he looks he's little in stature.
Yeah.
To say it a nice way, and I think people, not that matters, but I think they're looking at him he almost looks like one of the players, or no. Let me rephrase it. He looks like he wouldn't even be a player.
I see what you mean.
Let alone, is he going to be able to control a locker room?
Right.
Because you know how it is too. Once someone loses the locker room,
yep, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. But yeah, I don't know. Tomlin should be fired or no?
Yes, I thought he should have been gone probably 2 years ago. And I think his message, his voice, doesn't
lost the locker room.
Right, like you said, lost the locker room.
Yeah.
So I think he should have been gone probably 2 years ago.
It's too repetitive of the same message with a mediocre result.
Right. Yeah, how he says the standard is the standard. Yeah. Well, the new standard is just have a winning record.
If that was the standard, he should resign.
Yeah. But that is the new standard. I've said that in a couple episodes that I've done on my Chat with Chad podcast.
Oh, I got to go in. How much hate have you got over the stuff you talk about the Steelers?
How much hate have I got? I got some.
I mean, anything bad or not?
Not really bad.
Okay.
No, not real bad. A lot of people agree. Some people disagree. But I just take it with a grain of salt and just hey, that's your opinion. To tell you the truth,
when a Steelers game on, this for the anyone listening. Here's what you do: you put the Steeler game on the TV and you open up a laptop or something and watch a live feed of Chad's post because he's always angry too. Like it's like if you just watch him go, everyone add what Chad Himme.
Yes, Chad Aaron Himme on Facebook to see some pretty funny posts.
Yeah.
You're doing this as the Steelers are playing, like you're sitting there screaming.
Oh yeah, like
screaming at the TV.
Oh yeah, and I'm on my phone like posting.
All right, I'm in for a Steeler game.
I can't imagine how mad you must be sometimes.
I mean, I literally lose my voice. Yeah, I lose my voice.
Has your wife ever threatened to leave you over this?
Never threatened to leave me, but to leave the house for the day, yes.
That's funny.
But never to leave me. Sometimes she gets a kick out of it. You know, like she'll like video, like she'll like record me, like, you know, doing something, you know, crazy or saying something crazy. So she sometimes gets a kick out of it. So.
Until they're down like 14 points and then
I just get angry. And I've never done that.
I've seen like fans like
Never
on
done
YouTube and different clips like that. Whoever's losing, they start punching their TV.
Yeah, I don't get that. I mean, do I get angry? Yeah, I get upset, but I would never punch my TV. I mean, I have a 65-inch television in my living room, and
you said you had a 65-inch.
I don't want to say that I had. I have one, and TVs they're expensive. So yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Have you ever sought out therapy after the Steelers season?
I should. So my therapy is after the game like is over and after I'm done ranting online, I'll just go in my bedroom and just like put on music, and I'll just kind of relax the music.
You literally have to calm yourself down after.
Yes.
Who do you listen to calm yourself down? What musical group?
You know, it's kind of funny. I actually like the main style of music I listen to is like the metalcore. You know, and like screamo and, you know, emo and stuff like that. Like that kind of calms me down because sometimes you may not understand what they're saying, but if you read the lyrics, like they have a powerful message in a lot of their music, and I can relate to a lot of it.
Yeah.
So I do listen to that. Like some of the bands I listen to, my favorite band in the world is A Day to Remember. Mm-hmm. They're like a pop punk, you know, metal band.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, so I listen to them. I listen to Silverstein. I listen to Lorna Shore. So there's just a couple bands that to mention. And
ever listen to Kim Dracula?
I've heard of Kim Dracula. I know she features in a couple songs, some bands that that I listen to, but I don't really like listen to
Not
her.
yet.
Not yet.
I have to check her out soon.
Yeah, I have to.
Have you ever thought about booking like a former Steeler to sit there and do the podcast with you?
So it's
it's
funny.
Around.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. So I got a buddy that I used to work with in the car business. He's still in the business, but he went to a different dealership. He's really, really good friends with Joey Porter Jr. Because his uncle, so I guess they would be cousins. His uncle is Joey Porter Sr. So my buddy's mom was trying to reach out to him and get Joey Porter Jr. to come on during the off season. Nothing ever came to fruition about it. I don't know if she was just, you know, talking, you know, but that would be awesome, you know, to either get him or a former Steeler on. Like I said, I do have a connection in the Pittsburgh sports world, and my cousin, Matt Fargo, maybe he could line something up, you know, with it. So maybe.
That'd be kind of cool though if you could
That
get,
would be.
you know, anyone. You know, it doesn't have to be whoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Mm-hmm. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, my cousin is actually going to be coming on soon for my show soon. So I'm excited to have him on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That'll be what for the preseason.
Either preseason or the start of the regular season, yeah.
When does preseason start?
August
8th, I believe, is the Steelers' first preseason game.
Yeah, something
So
like
it's
that.
Saturday, I think, at like 7.
And they already got their schedule up for the year.
Yeah,
correct?
schedule's already out. My first episode I did of this season was the schedule release.
Oh, here we go. So who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
This year, it's really, really early to tell.
Pick your AFC, NFC, maybe 2 top candidates.
Okay, for the AFC, I mean, this got to be Buffalo's year, right? It's got to be Buffalo's year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's running out. So I'm gonna say Buffalo, or Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Yeah,
It's time for them too. It's time for Lamar Jackson to
Them
get
and
over that
Buffalo,
hump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say one of them. I would think.
Will Kansas City take a step backwards again?
I think so, because they're coming off of a bad beating in the Super Bowl. I don't know if it's going to be this year that they'll bounce back from it.
I don't think so.
So and then
Kenny Pickett let him have it, huh?
no, yeah. what the 4 snaps that he got in the fourth quarter or whatever it
More
was.
than the other guy got.
I got one. What is your and who's your NFC team?
NFC team. I mean, you have to say Philly. Or I'm going to say my favorite team other than the Steelers is the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Like my dream Super Bowl would be Detroit and Pittsburgh.
And they did really good the season before.
Just this past season? Yes.
I thought it was the one before that they made it to like the NFC Championship. Or was that this one?
I think it was this one.
Oh, maybe it was. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it was either this one or last one. But
Yeah.
I
Okay.
love the Lions. I love their head coach and Dan Campbell because he reminds me so much of Bill Cowher.
He's a man's man.
He's a man's man. I just love the way he coaches, love his attitude, the way his players respect him.
Yeah.
I just love it. So
he is good. He's good.
Dan Campbell is probably my favorite head coach.
In order, your top 3 Steeler quarterbacks of all time.
Stop top 3.
Top
Steeler
3 of all
quarterbacks?
time.
Well, I mean, I would say that's easy. It would be Ben,
Okay.
Bradshaw, and probably Cordell Stewart.
Cordell Stewart. Wow. Okay, that's a different
He
one.
brought them to the AFC Championship
No,
game.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
you're wrong. It's your list.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What would be your top 3,
It'll be
Ron?
MF and me. So okay, look, in my lifetime, Ben, but I'd have to put Terry Bradshaw as number 1 because of the 4 rings.
4 rings. I get that.
But I understand our lifetime, we never got to see Terry win
Right.
Super Bowls.
Exactly.
But I'll put Terry number 1, Ben obviously number 2.
What other really
God.
good quarterbacks have we had after Ben? Or even before Ben?
Oh God, yeah, number 3.
What, Tommy Maddox? I mean,
Maybe.
Okay.
Maddox was pretty good.
okay.
He's the one he won the XFL Super
Yeah,
Bowl with.
Tommy
Vince
Gunn.
McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll come back to me, Ryan. What is your top 3?
All right, I'm gonna. I hope
Here we
you're
go,
sitting up
Ryan.
for this one.
Here we
Ready?
go.
At number 1, number 6, Walter Bubby Brister.
Oh. Okay.
Number
right.
2, Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett.
Oh.
Okay.
Number 3, because he's a good friend of Melissa's, I'm going to go with tall Charlie Batch.
Oh, I forgot about Charlie Batch. Yeah.
Charlie
that's
Batch
my
was
top
good, but
3.
he's not my top 3.
No, he's not my top 3 either. I mean, he was a
Changed my
great
mind.
backup.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers as number 3.
You're going to go Aaron Rodgers, and he hasn't even played a
It don't
snap
matter.
as a Steeler.
I know it don't matter. I'm surprised you didn't put Aaron Rodgers in your top 3 because he beat.
He did beat the Steelers, so he's going to get brownie
Is he
points
number
no matter
4?
what. Yeah, he could be number 4.
He's your reserve.
Okay.
He's your reserve.
Yeah.
If someone gets hurt in my top 3, he can come in.
Still to this day, I cannot watch the 2010 Super Bowl where when Green Bay beat Pittsburgh.
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
You heard me. I still to this day cannot watch it.
Yeah, I wish there was a channel that you could watch those old games. Like even like they play them on the NFL Network sometimes.
They do, like, they'll do, like, Super Bowl replays.
Old games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Super Bowl replays and
But
stuff.
there's no like you can't buy like a bundle of like the whole season like
You figured
as
they
like
would. I mean, with the NFL ticket package that they sell, you should be able to go on whenever they start filming like Super Bowls. I don't know what year it was. But
yeah.
Start like showing like all the Super Bowls over and over again.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, they should.
there is a series. It's called America's Game, where they like whoever goes to the Super Bowl and wins, like they'll do like a whole season of that team. Like Pittsburgh was on it twice.
Oh, okay.
Both times Ben won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They were on it twice. So you
This
can
is NFL now.
yeah on that channel. Yeah.
Okay.
So they do a series, and whoever wins the Super Bowl that year, they do a whole season with them.
Okay, cool. Do you watch wrestling or anything?
I'm a huge WWE fan.
Uh-oh.
A huge WWE
Who's
fan.
your GOAT list? Top 5.
Top 5 goats, like of
Goats.
all time?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, you got to say John Cena. He just won the 17 championship belt, so you got to go John Cena.
Stiff. Okay.
I mean, right now I'm not a big fan of John Cena, but
Oh, no, now it's time to
He's doing his
be.
best work right now. I'm kidding.
Yeah, okay.
no, he is doing some amazing work as a heel. I will admit that. But I would say John Cena is number 1. I would say probably Bruno Sammartino is number 2.
Pittsburgh legend.
Pittsburgh legend, yeah. Number 3, I'd probably say Undertaker. Number 3, 4 is Stone Cold, and who would be number 5? Probably Hulk Hogan.
Everyone's been booing him lately.
Yeah, everyone has been booing him lately. Yeah.
No, that's a good list.
funny,
That's a good list.
But I mean,
I like the Hulk shirt. It's funny though.
currently though, my favorite wrestler currently is Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare.
like him.
I love Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Cody Rhodes fan.
Crying Cody.
The Cody Crybabies, what The Rock was calling them, calling us Cody Rhodes fans during, what was that, WrestleMania 40.
And that's like The Rock. He's getting back to being a heel again, which is his best work.
Yeah.
We're talking about The Rock?
I'm just saying, like, The Rock is sort of.
Oh, right.
Yeah, when The Rock's a heel, that's when he's the best, when he's a heel.
I agree. Yeah, his in-ring, when he's on the mic, when he's in-ring is just, I mean, untouchable. Next to, I would say, CM Punk. CM Punk is my second favorite wrestler currently.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that he's back in WWE.
Yeah, and I keep saying this because I just keep repeating myself, but when I first saw CM Punk, I was like, like I just didn't get it, you know what I mean? And then my one friend told me, like, no, dude, CM Punk's like my favorite wrestler of all time.
He's incredible.
And I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, at the time I heard it. Now I'm like, every week I'm liking him more and more and more. And nothing against him. I just didn't know who he was.
Right.
And then I think the first time I ever saw him, he was fighting in the UFC.
Oh, he had a bad UFC run.
You know what? He did, but it still takes a lot of nerve to go fight in the UFC.
It does. I mean, because that's real. Like
that's
like,
real,
that's legit.
beyond real. And
right.
you have to be a certain kind of crazy to even want to do that.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, you can never insult a guy for doing something like that. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you can't insult someone the average man would never try. You know? But it's easy, like you said, for the internet monsters to sit back and talk.
They can talk smack, but they won't get in the ring. And
they wouldn't.
No, they're quick to talk.
They wouldn't even dare.
No,
they wouldn't. Yeah, they wouldn't even dare.
They wouldn't even go to a UFC like practice, like they have little karate classes. Like they wouldn't even go to a UFC practice. What about karate? Are you a martial artist or anything?
So it's funny you mentioned that. As a kid, I was big into karate. I actually ended up all the way getting my black belt.
Do you know C.S. Kim at all?
No, no, I don't. So I took Taekwondo.
Ryan defeated C.S. Kim. What was it? Where at?
In Japan. This back in 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a kid, I did karate all the way up to a black belt, and then I stopped, and that's when I started getting into football and playing football.
Nice. Well, I think it's been a pretty good interview. Yeah. I mean, I think we covered a lot.
Yeah.
It's already been over 45 minutes, so.
That's pretty good.
Chad, anyone you'd like to say hello to or, shout out before you go?
I can't forget to shout out my lovely, beautiful wife, Emily Himme. Hopefully you are watching this, and I know you wanted to be on this one. Next show you can be on.
And now you know that if she didn't watch this long, she didn't really care about you that much.
She didn't really care, yeah.
No.
Just wanted that name drop.
Yeah. She says, when did you drop my name? I'll watch that part.
Yeah. So I'll go tell her, hey, I dropped your name.
And Emily knows she's more than welcome to come on with you.
Yes.
Yeah. She's actually become a really big fan of you and your music.
Oh, cool.
Just like, recently, like every time like your songs come on, like on my car, we always turn it up, and
nice.
She's becoming a real big fan,
well,
and so
now she has to come on. Right?
Yeah, now she's got to come on. And then same thing with Sicktastic. She was in that little scene in the newest Carver House, and she wants to be involved with us, more in the future.
She approached me. I forgot where she's like, you got to put me in it more next time. I was like, all right. I was like, yeah, we'll definitely make something happen. So she's like, cool.
And I told her the other day when I asked you for that picture, and she said, "Oh, I was so surprised to see the name."
Yeah, for the shout out for your book, which your book is awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
And I never read, dude. Like, I haven't read a book in like probably 15 years.
That's
like, I literally sat down and read your book.
That's awesome.
And it caught my attention from like the first page.
Okay, good.
It really did. And
awesome.
like I told you, I learned a lot, from it, because as you know, I used to throw shows.
Yeah.
So it was something that I learned a lot, from reading your book.
Yeah, excellent. And the only reason I brought that up was to say that she told me she was surprised to see her name. I said, well, hey, you're part of the family now too.
Yeah, she loved that whenever she heard
and
that.
I meant it because, like,
I know you did. Yeah, I know you did.
At the end of the day, we're all like family.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I used to tell people all the time, like, we're promoters dealing with shows. I'm like, we're like a traveling circus.
Right.
But with film stuff, I kind of feel like we're like a Rob Zombie type, because if you watch his films, he usually has the same people playing different characters.
He does. I've seen a few of his movies, and he has the same character.
And that's kind of like what I feel like we're like. Like, we try to stick with who sticks with us.
Right.
And you've stuck with us.
It's been since the beginning.
It's all about the dedication.
And with that note, everyone, Ryan, take it out. That camera right there.
This is episode number 16, and I guess we are out of here.
Chad Himme.
See ya.